Hi, I'm Brian. In this session, we're going to look at setting goals. The MPOWR system is built to facilitate life change. I know when it comes to any meaningful changes in my life, I go through a series of steps, even though most of the time these steps are informal and internal. First, I identify some areas that need to change through some kind of assessment of where I'm at. Next, I identify the goals I want to accomplish. Third, I break the goals down into some manageable steps. And finally, I monitor my progress along the way, making changes to the plan as I go. The MPOWR system is designed to help you and your participants do these things easily and efficiently, and then allow for reporting on these changes at the individual level, at the organization level, and even at the community-wide level. How do we do it? Let's dive in and take a look. If you haven't already logged into the system, you'll need to do that. This will bring you to the main menu. In order to get to the Goals and Notes section of the tool, you'll need to click on Work with Participants, and then enter the person that you'd like to work with. We'll enter Jason Bourne, since he'll be familiar to you from the prior training videos. You'll be brought to our Goals and Notes screen. The Goals and Notes screen is where much of the work that you'll be doing with participants happens. Some of our clients even call this mission control, since it's so critical to their operations on a day-to-day basis. Before we get into the detail of setting goals, let's look over the screen and explain a bit about the options that you're seeing. You'll notice at the top of the screen, you'll always see a confirmation of whose ID and what agency is currently logged in. Next to that, you'll see your mailbox, with an indicator showing if you have any messages that have been sent to you via our internal and secure message system. Just below this line on the left, it's helpful to notice the navigation path, also called breadcrumbs, that allow you to see where you are in the system at any time and link to the prior sections of the tool if you should get lost. Below this, you'll see the current participant, with a drop-down allowing access to other members of the Bourne household and a link to the participant profile. That displays the 15 areas of life, as well as some additional intake and assessment information for Jason. You can learn more about that in the intake and assessment video if you desire, but we won't go there now. Below these areas, you'll notice 3 or 4 additional buttons, depending on the version of MPOWR that you've subscribed to. These buttons appear green if there's no information you need to review in them, but will turn red if there is some information you might want to review. Let's start with alerts. Alerts are important information points that you should be aware of when working with any given participant. So, for example, it might be helpful for others to know that Jason is in fact multilingual. So, we can click on Alerts, and then add a new alert, and add the information into the system so that no matter who at my agency is doing follow-up with Jason on any given day, they'll be aware of this information. When you close this box and the screen refreshes, you'll now notice that the Alert button is turned red, indicating something is there for me to read. We can click on it and view what we've just entered. This might be a helpful location to note a language preference or a need for accessibility issues if special needs may be present, or if someone may be hearing impaired, and so on. Restrictions function exactly the same way as alerts, but have the added benefit of being time sensitive. Therefore, if Jason happened to get into a bit of a quarrel in the reception area during his last visit and was given a temporary restriction from visiting our location for 2 weeks, we would add that here, and then place an expiration date on that note for 2 weeks out from that visit. The restrictions button would then turn red, and then once the expiration date had passed, the button will automatically return to green, assuming that he doesn't have any additional restrictions for that time frame. Next, we see Appointments, where you can use MPOWR as a simple calendar for items and dates that you wish to be aware of that are coming up for this participant. We know that one of the biggest sources of lost revenue for nonprofits is missed appointments, and this can aid in the reminder process. To the right, you'll see several more buttons. The Referral button is what you would use when you want to research and tap into other services and agencies in the broader community. This allows you to collaborate with other human service providers through a searchable directory of services, and then place those referrals directly into the participant's goal plan. We'll look at this in greater detail in the session on the Provider Resource Directory. Below this, you'll see the Next Visit note, which is a simple tool. It allows for a short note or reminder to be placed here so that the next time the participant comes to your location, that item or issue will be addressed. Quite possibly they left some papers in your office and need to pick them up the next time they come in. Anything like that. You could simply type that in here and it will remain there until it's cleared using this button. Now let's turn our attention to goals. Setting goals allows the participant, as well as anyone working with them, to see a path toward self-sufficiency. This allows everyone to be on the same page and aware of what each participant is trying to accomplish, and then, over time, to see progress along that path. We use this section of MPOWR as the place where all goals, regardless of where they're set up in the system, can be found. Goals can be entered in a number of places throughout the tool. We do that intentionally so that no matter where you are, it's easy to set up and modify a participant's goals. Yet, you can always return to this page to see one consolidated view of all the goals that you've entered and then filter them in ways that would be easiest for you to manage. For example, you'll notice that there's a goal here regarding Jason's desire to find an apartment. We entered that goal during the intake process as we walked through the 15 areas of life that are built into MPOWR. These are always accessible by clicking on Participant Profile at the top or from the side navigation menu. We were on the Housing tab at that time and discovered, as we asked him about his current housing situation, that he was in need of an apartment. And so immediately we went to the bottom of the page and clicked on Add Goal to record that goal before we went on with our assessment. All of our tabs have a similar button at the bottom of the page to make it easy to add goals for what you're currently working on with a participant. The advantage of using those buttons in the bottom of the tabs is that the system will automatically pre-fill the category of the goal for you based on the tab that you launched the new goal screen from. In this case, you'll notice Education is pre-filled. That doesn't mean you can't alter the category if that isn't what you wanted, but it's one less step for you, and that often makes sense. A second place you can add a goal, no matter where you are in the system, is from the navigation menu on the left-hand side. You can either go to the Goals and Notes page if you feel more comfortable doing so from there, or you can simply click on Add a Goal, and you'll be brought to the new goal screen allowing you to enter what you'd like. Of course, you'll need to select the category for your goal when using this method because the system has no way of knowing what kind of goal you're intending to enter. The third place you can enter a goal is from the Goals and Notes page itself. Let's walk through the process of setting up a goal now, entering a goal from that page. You can enter goals right from this page by clicking Add a Goal on the right. In this case, let's add an employment goal, helping Jason to find a job. You can select from a list of common goals for this category from the drop-down. If you want to add specific goals to this list and customize what you see here, you can do that with the full version of the tool, if you choose to purchase that version of MPOWR. Currently, Jason doesn't know whether or where he'll be moving into a new apartment, since he doesn't have permanent housing. So, let's get him a temp job. But he's looking for a full-time temp job. The target date for him to have a job is in 4 weeks, so let's follow up with him in a week or so to see how he's doing with his applications and his resume. When we click Save, we're then encouraged to enter additional goal steps, as well as any notes that are relevant to this goal. We'll add a beginning step of researching temp job companies by simply clicking Add New Step. You could then add additional steps that'll help this participant follow through on the goal that they've set for themselves. For example, they might want to enroll in a training on resume writing. They might want to set a goal for completing the job applications, or securing references, or following up on applications. As each of these steps are added, you'll want to monitor how these things are going. So one more thing we'll look at is maintaining the status of the goals in the system. From the Goals and Notes screen, you can click on the details for any goal and see the progress being made for the steps that have been entered. There are a variety of things that may happen with regard to a goal, and we allow for multiple options in the goal status drop-down list. When the goal is complete, however, you simply select Complete from this list, and it will be recorded as such when doing your reporting. In this video, we've discussed the importance of entering goals, we've looked at the various features of the Goals and Notes screen, and we talked about 3 different ways that you can enter goals into the MPOWR system. Finally, we walked through how to enter goals and steps into MPOWR. I'm glad you could join us for this session on setting goals. Feel free to explore additional videos and training documents on our website at www.cciunites.org.